So very simply, my rich dad said, assets put money in your pocket.
In the world of success, you need to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing and how you're doing it. And the best way to go about that is to get educated. Now, that doesn't just mean school. That can mean a vast variety of different things. But we've broken it down to around 3 different opportunities. The first one would be academic, which is like your schooling, such as going to college and getting a degree, or going in high school and doing well and getting good grades in those classes and moving on to the next step of education, which would be professional education.
I invest $1 million in oil, I get 800,000 back. So I get 80% return day one.
And that means like in real world, real life experience doing whatever your profession is. And that can mean being a doctor or a lawyer or a secretary. Whatever profession you're in, that's the type of education you need. You need to learn how to get good at whatever you're doing. And the third step of education would be financial education.
If you can manage this, you'll always be a rich man, no matter what happens to you.
You need to learn how to handle your money. That way you don't earn it and lose it. You need to make sure you earn it and build your wealth and build upon what you have. Therefore, you don't go backwards and forget everything, and you don't have any money in order to further grow companies or yourself or get where that success level is that you'd like to be at. You need to make sure that you're educated well in all 3 of these areas. That way you can truly become successful in whichever way you want it to be, because you know how to do it, you have that experience, and you have the financial flow to do whatever you want.
And the rich don't work for money. The richest people in the world don't work for money. Most people don't understand that because they've already been genetically programmed from parents and schools to go to school and get a job and work hard for money. Now, the harder you work for money, the poorer you get. And the reason for that is money was designed to steal our wealth. You know, I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing because it makes me richer, but like the yin and yang of life, everything has opposite sides. So everything that rich dad taught me was opposite of what my poor dad was a school teacher, you know, good people, but they don't know anything about money. So on one side, my poor dad's always saying, work hard, you know, go to school, get a job, save money, and get out of debt. On the opposite side, the yang side, no, don't do that, you know. So when I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it was about the opposites. That's all it was. And the rich don't work for money. The richest people in the world don't work for money. But the average person, that's not part of their consciousness. So you look at Steve Jobs. His paycheck was $1 a year. So the reason I say and I do and I speak and I teach is kind of just the yin and the yang. You got to see the other side too. Because so many people, I don't know about here, but the economy is pretty bad in America, and they're rushing back to school. Gotta be stupid. School teaches you nothing about money. There's fewer and fewer jobs, and taxes are higher. Why would you do that? You know, if you save money, you're taxed. You work hard, you're taxed. And you put your money in a retirement plan, you're taxed. That's not that intelligent, but that's what they teach you in school. So it's opposite, and that's why I come up on stage and I talk about the opposite, just to open your mind a bit.
Most people are wimps. You know, Nassim Taleb said he wrote the book, The Red Black Swan, but his best book is called Anti-Fragile. So most people are fragile. You know, they're like a champagne flute glass. You hit it, you can never put it back together again. They're called snowflakes. You know, they go to college and they come out wimps. You know, you hurt my feelings. You can't trigger me and all this stuff. That's because most school teachers are wimps themselves. That's why they want tenure and all that stuff. Nothing wrong with that. The other position is you got to be robust, and a robust is where most Americans are is they're strong. It's like a rock. You can pound on them really hard and they'll just take it, and they'll just sit there, but I can take it like a man or a woman. You know, I'll get stronger. I'm going to come back. And the more they screwed with me, the stronger I got. And I got me in trouble, but it doesn't mean I don't have problems. It doesn't mean I don't have deep psychological problems, but make my day. You know, I mean, you mess with me, I'm going to get stronger. Thank you. You hurt my feelings. Thank you. I'm going to get stronger.
And it's really simple, you know. My poor dad always said to me, go to school and get a high-paying job. That's not wealth, that's a job. You can get fired, you know. And then my rich dad always says, work for assets. So there's basically 4 asset classes that makes a person rich, and there's lots of more, the subheadings and all this. But number 1 is a business. The richest young guys today start companies. It's called Facebook, Google, Apple, stuff like that, you know. Number 2 is real estate. So what my rich dad taught me is a combination of being an entrepreneur in business and entrepreneur in real estate. It's that combination is I pay no tax, and I make a lot more money. So a lot of guys say, well, I have a business. I say, well, how much real estate you got? Without real estate, you pay tax. That's the problem. And then there's paper which is stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and savings. That's what most people should be in. The reason savings are good, paper is good, like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, are liquid. You make a mistake and get in and out real quick. Called liquid. The trouble with these two, you make a mistake, you're there forever. Can't get in and out. So that's why you gotta be very smart before you go in. And the last is commodities. That's why I own oil. And as the price of oil goes down, people say, are you losing money? I said, no, because in the US, if you deal in oil, you get tax breaks. I invest $1 million in oil, I get 800,000 back. So I get 80% return day one. So oil is very, very profitable. That's what, but I don't invest in oil stocks. Very different. Okay, so if oil goes to $20 a barrel, I'm still cash flowing, I'm still making money.
There's lots of education, music education, physical education, stuff like that. But to be successful in the world of business, there's 3 basic types of education you must have. 1, academic education. That's reading, writing, arithmetic. I didn't do very well here. It's very important. I'm not saying it's not important, it's extremely important. So academic is very important. Second is professional, where they become a doctor, a lawyer, secretary. In my case, I had 2 professions. My first profession was a sailor. I was a third mate on board oil tankers. Again, it was a good profession. And the second profession was as a pilot, and most of my friends went on to become airline pilots. I just didn't want to fly anymore. And the third is financial education. And what we'll be covering is this. As a young boy, I realized that I could beat my friends over here if I understood this. In other words, I can make a lot more money here than these guys here. The beauty of the world today is that, when I went to work for Standard Oil of California, I got paid by the month. And if I was a pilot flying for the airlines, I got paid by the month. And when I worked on straight commissions with Xerox, I got, basically commissions. But I realized from my rich dad talking to me that if I understood financially, I could make money 24/7 without working. That was the difference.